Good evening, everybody. I hope everybody can hear my voice and see the presentation on the screen. You can send your responses through the chat. So, I hope everybody is able to hear my voice and see whatever is written on the screen on the presentation. Can I have a quick confirmation of that? Excellent. I've got a response from Dhruti, Janisha, Sujal. Yes. I hope, yes, I've got responses from all four. Excellent. So, a very warm welcome to IQ Ideas, and some of you might have started attending a lecture or two since the past week or so. And periodically, we keep conducting these introductory sessions for those who have joined us of late. So, these sessions are meant to give you a fair idea of what entrance examinations are all about. What exactly do you mean by preparation for any entrance examination? What should be your regular schedule like, right? And a lot of other things. And of course, at the end of my presentation, once I tell you what all to expect, I'll be throwing open the house for question answers. So first, just spare me a few minutes. I'll take you through the entire thing of how to go about preparing for various entrance examinations, introduce you to the syllabus and schedule and other things. And at the end of the session, then if you have any questions, you have any queries, you have any doubts, then you can absolutely ask them. Is that fine with everybody? Can I have a quick confirmation on that? Is that fine with everybody? Excellent. So, as is common, the first thing obviously is to introduce ourselves, and as I'm the only one speaking here, so I'm going to tell you about the team, the teachers, the faculty members who are going to interact with me. So first of all, my name is Satyanarayan. All the schedules that you get in which any lecture marked by NS, that is N Satyanarayan, that is me. And you'll be having my classes for English, reasoning, and in case you are going in for anything like law, then all legal aptitude sessions will be also covered by me, right? So I'm Satya, I'll be taking your English, reasoning and special aptitude. The second important faculty member with whom you'll be having almost weekly interaction is Chandan sir. Chandan sir is the whole and soul person in charge of mathematics. So for every examination, the general aptitude mathematics, all the classes will be taken by Chandan sir. And if somebody is appearing for specific exams like IPM, IIM Indore or Narsee Monjey's NPAT, then that specific math required for those two specific exams is also taken by him. So in all the mathematics related subjects, all the topics, all the classes will be taken by Chandan sir. After that, you will be having regular sessions with Parth sir, right? So Parth sir is the person who takes sessions on GK and current affairs. So the three of us, that is Chandan sir, Parth sir and me, Satya, will be taking classes for you every week. Other than that, once in a while you generally will have some sessions known as personality development sessions, that is preparing for interviews if your exam requires one, preparing for group discussions in case your examination includes one, and things like that, right? So also things like time management, things like how to go about preparing, so all these soft skill kind of things, communication and so on, is taken by Firdaus sir. And last but not the least, sometimes we'll be having specific strategy sessions on how to go attempting an examination, how do you analyze an examination. All these specific strategy sessions will be taken by Mohit sir, who also will be taking counseling for a lot of students in terms of which courses you can apply for, which colleges you can go in for, and so on and so forth. So the three of us, that is me, Chandan sir and Parth sir, will be meeting you practically every week, and you'll be having a few sessions by Firdaus sir and a couple of sessions by Mohit sir as well. So these are the core team members who will be taking your sessions at IQ Ideas. Okay, so we are preparing for various entrance examinations which are all general aptitude tests, right? After 12th in India, there are two categories of entrance exams. One is the technical exams like JEE for engineering, or NEET for medicine, or it could be the CPT for CA and so on, because they're very technical papers. There are technical subjects which are asked in that. And then we have examinations like the ones that all of us are preparing for. These are known as general aptitude tests, right? And it includes entrance examinations for subjects like law, business management, which includes both the regular BBA or the integrated BBA plus MBA, hotel management, mass communication, liberal studies, humanities and social sciences, economics, so on and so forth. The reason why I put all these entrance examinations in a single group is that the syllabus for almost all of these exams is more or less the same. They don't test you on specific subjects like physics, chemistry, biology, or accounts or stats or anything like that. There are 4 main things, common subjects, which is asked across all of these entrance examinations. And of course, a couple of exams may have 1 or 2 extra specific aptitude subjects, but they are also more or less based on the 4 subjects that I'm going to talk about. So the best part is that if you are preparing for any one of these entrance exams, you are more or less ready to appear for the other entrance exams as well. For example, I know a lot of my students who prepare for law. They think, okay, मुझे law में interest है, I want to appear for the law entrance exams. बट एग्जाम से कुछ देर पहले उनको लगता है यार बैकअप के लिए आई शुड मे बी ट्राई अ मैनेजमेंट कोर्स और आई शुड ट्राई कॉलेज ऑफ लिबरल स्टडीज एज अ बैकअप ऑप्शन. And then they suddenly start thinking, do I need some extra preparation? And the answer is no. If you are prepared for any one of these exams, you are more or less ready for all of these entrance exams, right? Because they are all general aptitude tests. So as general aptitude tests, what are the common subjects, right? So I talked about 4 subjects. These include English, reasoning, mathematics, and GK current affairs. These are the 4 common subjects which are there more or less in every exam. The weightage of the subjects may differ. In some exams like law, for like example CLAT, maths may have a weightage of only 10%, whereas its weightage could be up to 25% in an examination like Symbiosis General, or even up to 60% for an examination like IP Mat, right? But the subjects more or less remain the same. And then some examinations have some specific aptitude sections as well. For example, it could be the legal aptitude section, or for mass communication and liberal studies exam, it could be a writing ability test, or for hotel management aspirants, it could be something like a service aptitude test, right? But if you go into deep in these things, you'll realize they're nothing new. They're actually a combination of reasoning and English more or less. So although the subject looks different, it's actually included in the first 4. So the 4 main subjects which we will be doing throughout the year, along with of course the other topics, the main subjects which will always be covered will be English, reasoning, mathematics, and GK current affairs. Now English and GK, they require a lot of time, right? The syllabus, there is no fixed syllabus per se, right? We will teach you the basics, but you will have to go beyond and do a lot of practice, because only practice can help you become masters in both English and GK current affairs. On the other hand, reasoning and mathematics are subjects which can be very deeply taught, right? If you pay a lot of attention to what is being taught and just practice the basics, you can crack these sections easily. So mathematics and reasoning, there's a lot of teaching, but the class teaching with a little bit of extra practice is more than enough to crack the section. Whereas English में इतना theory नहीं होगा, लेकिन practice आपको बहुत ज़्यादा करना पड़ेगा. And of course GK current affairs, there is no fixed syllabus. It is vast, it is endless. We'll do our best to cover as many important topics as possible, but you cannot only rely on the classroom sessions. You will have to do a lot of extra reading. तो extra क्या पढ़ना है, कहाँ से पढ़ना है, ये सारी चीज़ें मैं आपको अभी थोड़ी देर में बताऊँगा, right? So some exams after the written portion also call students for interview. For example, Symbiosis या Christ University जैसे institutes हैं, उसमें written exam के बाद you have to appear for the interview rounds. So we also prepare you guys for interviews. Does not matter which course you have enrolled in, you will be taken through the basic sessions of interview practice as well. And of course, we will be providing you mock interviews in case you are actually going to appear for interviews. That is also taken care of in your entire preparatory program. So these 4 subjects, let's see individually what kind of preparation is required, what resources we will be using, and so on and so forth. Starting with English, of course, the first and most important resource for you guys will be the books of IQ Ideas, the one that you have been provided. There is a book of reading comprehension, there would be a book of grammar, there would be a book of idioms and phrases, vocabulary, and so on and so forth. So books of grammar, reading comprehension with their exercises, of course, a lot will be covered theoretically in the class. But vocabulary and idioms and phrases are two books which are just a list of words or a list of idioms and phrases. So we would very strongly recommend that you start reading them on your own also, right? Learning 10 new words a day, learning 2 to 3 new idioms and phrases a day. That is something which you need to start developing on your own, because the content is huge. It doesn't require teaching, but it requires a lot of reading and practice. So English, the basic books provided for by IQ will be your first source. Once you're done with that, you can get in touch with the faculty members, in this case me, if you want a recommendation of any extra material. Now, a couple of things which I always recommend in case you want to step by step improve your vocabulary on your own. The best self-practice book is a book called Word Power Made Easy by an author called Norman Lewis. Across India, for various entrance examinations, this one book, Word Power Made Easy by Norman Lewis, is considered the Bible, right? Most people, they swear by this textbook. इस book को systematically अगर पढ़ोगे, your vocabulary is guaranteed to improve. Just like that, for grammar, we have that standard old book used across schools. That is the grammar textbook written by Wren and Martin, right? It's a book मेरे दादा के ज़माने से चलता आ रहा है. मैंने भी use किया है school में, and I'm sure a lot of schools these days also recommend the same book. So the standard book of Wren and Martin for English grammar is an extra reading material. In case you want extra practice, you may use that. And as far as reading comprehension goes, once you have finished the book which is provided by us, just get in touch with me. I'll tell you a lot of free sources from which you can get extra practice passages. So this is more or less what English is going to look like. Of course, I'm going to take the classes, right? The syllabus is not extensive. There are only 3 basic things. One, either you'd be doing things related to grammar, that is sentence correction and error spotting, or you would be doing a little bit of reading comprehension passage, or you would be doing a little bit of vocabulary practice, synonyms, antonyms, and so on. So time and again, we keep repeating these things. So there is no such thing as syllabus which has been completed and syllabus which has been left. English repeatedly we keep doing. So any point of time you join the course, the entire thing is going to be covered for you. So we need not worry about English. Nothing has been left in English. It is always in a cycle, right? So English, absolutely no problems. Okay. The next thing is reasoning, and there are 2 types of reasoning. So you would have received 2 books, one of analytical reasoning and the second of verbal or critical reasoning. So most of the questions which you will be seeing in entrance exams will be in one way or the other related to all the things which is covered in these books. So this has to be your prime source for practice. Once you are completed this, of course, get in touch. I'll recommend other books as well. But your first and most important source of practice is the 2 books, one of analytical reasoning and one of verbal or critical reasoning. Now, the third, and many students actually are afraid of this, maths. But the best part is, in entrance examinations, most of the general aptitude tests, except maybe IP Mat and NPAT, the level of mathematics is only standards 8th, 9th and 10th. So if you have done mathematics in standards 8th, 9th and 10th, the questions of maths in most of the entrance exams are easy. And Chandan sir has compiled the book of general mathematics for practice, and believe me guys, I have seen so many questions directly asked in the exams from the books. Same questions, same figures, right? Because very carefully he has picked up all these different types of questions. So this is your first and most important resource. For those who are preparing for IP Mat or NPAT, this is not for those who are preparing for law or hotel management or liberal studies, but specifically the 2 exams of IP Mat, IIM Indore and NPAT. The book of mathematics, that is quantitative ability for CAT, written by Arun Sharma, is what we generally recommend. Right, so these are the resources for mathematics which generally will be using. And finally, when it comes to GK and current affairs, Parth sir usually takes the sessions of GK and current affairs. He insists that you write down the notes which he gives in the class. Right, he puts up the presentation on the screen. He specifically marks important areas on the screen, and you are expected to write down notes. Right, don't develop the habit of asking for PPT. He does not give PPT for GKCA. He insists that you write down the notes, and not very lengthy, right? But after writing down the main points, you have to make a habit of going online and researching about the topic which has been discovered. Because what we saw is that a lot of topics which he covered in the class were directly asked in the exams, but only those students who actually made it a habit to read about that topic from newspapers or magazines or online websites were actually in a good position to crack it, right? So sources for GK current affairs, obviously first the notes which you will be taking in the class, second a website gktoday.in, third jagranjosh.com. So you can follow any one of these two websites. Now, as is very obvious, current affairs changes every day. It keeps on getting added every day. So I can't write a book and give it to you on day one. Okay, ये पूरे साल का current affairs है, because it keeps on happening. So websites like gktoday.in or jagranjosh.com, they compile daily current affairs from the viewpoint of entrance examination. These are sites which are specifically designed for entrance exam aspirants. They are also available in app form. So either one of these websites you can refer. Make it a habit to go through them 10, 15, 20 minutes every day, and your preparation for general knowledge and current affairs is mostly taken care of. Now, what is your preparation strategy going to be like? I'm going to give you a basic idea of what to expect and what we expect you to do throughout the year, throughout the months that we have left before the actual exams will be conducted. Obviously, I need not say this, you will be attending all the classes regularly. So the schedule for the next day's class is provided on the previous night. So Sunday's classes, you will receive message on Saturday. Saturday, any specific session, you will receive a message on Friday. Wednesday evening, we have a GK session, you will receive the message on Tuesday evening. So this is how it generally works. Every Sunday, you will be having two regular classes, once from 8 to 9:30 and the second session from 9:30 to 11. I repeat, Sundays you will be having two fixed classes, right? One of them will be of mathematics, the other will be of English or reasoning. So every Sunday 8 to 11, 8 to 9:30, 9:30 to 11, two fixed classes. The third slot, you have an option. Either you can attend 11:30 to 1 on Sundays for GK or current affairs. The same session is repeated by Parth sir on Wednesday evenings 6:30 to 8. I repeat, only GK has this special facility where the session is actually repeated. So you can either attend GK current affairs on Sunday itself 11:30 to 1, or you can attend the same session which will be repeated by sir on Wednesday evenings 6:30 to 8. So 4.5 hours of regular classes. If any one of you is attending for law, then once a month, that is the last Saturday of every month, 3 to 6 p.m., we have a specific class for legal aptitude. Once a month, last Saturday of every month, 3 to 6, we have a class of legal aptitude. If somebody is going to crack exam of IPM, you have registered specifically for the exam of IPM, then IPM maths extra classes are Saturdays, all except the last Saturday, 3 to 6. And currently, we have also started a series of backup sessions for those who are joining late. So 4 to 5 Sunday evenings, we will be having backup of topics which were previously covered. So mostly reasoning and maths is covered in this, right? Okay. So your preparation, you have to attend the classes regularly. Other than the regular books provided, you have to make it a habit to read extra books. It could be novels, magazines, autobiographies, biographies, anything, but you have to develop the habit of reading. So what I do is I generally recommend the name of a book along with a soft copy of the same every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks I suggest a particular book, I send the PDF to the students, and you can read that book in the 15 days. Normally I don't give a thick book, right? I give a book which can easily be completed by an average reader in 2 to 3 days. I give you a fortnight's time, 15 days time to complete it. I would encourage you to read even more books than that. Other than the recommended books, I would very strongly recommend you read more books. Why? Because one, it will develop your reading speed, your comprehension speed, your vocabulary, your grammar. And it also improves your knowledge about different subjects. So book reading is something that I will very strongly recommend that everybody does. And of course, daily you have to update yourself with GK and current affairs. This year, in the CLAT examination, we had about 7 passages, most of them taken from regular newspapers. So those students who had read newspapers of the months May, June, July, and August, and so on, the newspaper articles were directly taken and given in the exam. So along with regular reading, you also have to read daily current affairs in terms of newspapers, right? So what I would recommend is that first attend the class, whatever topic is completed, the exercises given in the IQ Ideas books, complete them, right? Then sometimes we may send extra exercises, soft copies on the WhatsApp group. If such an exercise is sent, then complete that also. Then if you want more material, you can always get in touch with the faculty. We'll tell you from where you can resource free extra material and give and do more practice on that. Regarding mock tests, now a lot of people, a lot of friends would already have started giving mock tests somewhere or the other. But what I recommend is that first complete a fair portion of your syllabus, get an idea of strategies for giving exams, right? And then when we give you the green signal, okay, now is a fair time where you should start attempting mocks, then start attempting these mock tests. In case you don't cover the syllabus, in case you don't have a strategy and you blindly attempt a mock, you will get discouraged by looking at the poor score, and then you will lose interest in preparing for the exam. So rather than waste material and lose interest, start mock tests only after we ask you to do so, right? The first 1 or 2 mocks will only be to familiarize you with what exactly an entrance exam is like. It's only after giving a couple of mocks that you will be able to understand, okay, this is the way in which I can maximize my score. And of course, we'll be teaching you how to implement proper strategies in the examination, right? So don't give full length mock tests right now. Right now, just practice the basic topic exercises and so on and so forth. Okay. So your daily schedule, we would recommend spend about 45 minutes to 1 hour every day reading up on GK and current affairs. It could be websites like the ones I talked about, or it could be newspapers and magazines. Spend 45 minutes to 1 hour daily on just reading. Reading could be magazines, novels, and so on. And 1 to 2 hours per week. I'm not even asking you to do this every day. If you're in a general aptitude exam, then maths and reasoning 1 to 2 hours per week, other than of course the regular classroom sessions that we are taking, is enough. But if you're an IP MAT NPAT aspirant, then of course you'll need to increase that to 4 to 5 hours. So I guess about 2 hours every day, 2.5 hours every day of studies is actually sufficient for you to be able to crack most of these general aptitude tests. However, you need to be very regular, you need to be very disciplined in doing it. Of course, we are not going to spend as much time as NEET aspirants or JEE aspirants do. We see them spending hours together in preparing for these entrance exams. Luckily, our entrance exam syllabus is not extensive, it is not that tough. But it does require you to be dedicated and disciplined in doing something. You may not require 15 hours a day, but even that 2 hours that we ask you to put every day should be done regularly and not left for the last moment. कि एग्जाम खत्म होने के बाद एंट्रेंस एग्जाम के पहले एक हफ्ता कर लेंगे तो हो जाएगा. No, it has to be done in tandem with your school studies. Just as board exams are very, very important, similarly preparation for entrance exams are equally important. You cannot you cannot lose focus on one or sacrifice one for the other. Importance has to be given to both your boards and your entrance exam preparations. Okay, now lot of video, all our sessions, we generally tend to record our sessions and put them on YouTube. So you will be sent links periodically from time to time where you can actually access a lot of our content on YouTube, the recorded sessions, explanation of certain exercises and other things. You would also have been provided an ID password to the IQ Ideas website where you can log in. But most of the content is actually directly available on links on YouTube. We'll be sending you these links periodically, right? You would also have received the WhatsApp number 7600 from which you will receive the schedule for the next day and also a link to a Telegram doubt solving group. So any doubts you have, you need not wait for the actual session, right? You're solving an exercise, you come across a problem, you are not able to solve it. You can immediately just take a snap of that question and send it either on the WhatsApp number or on the Telegram group. and either of these methods can be used to immediately resolve your doubts. So you do not wait for the next session to be taken by the faculty. You can just send across on these numbers, and usually within a few hours, generally within minutes, but even if it's sent late at night or something, within a few hours, as soon as the faculty gets in touch with it, and most of the time it is me, so I will be sending across an answer to that, right? So do make use of technology to actually benefit for your preparation. Okay, so other than the regular teaching, we also will be providing you individual counseling. When the entrance exam dates are announced and application forms have to be filled, we will be giving you information on which application forms have been released, how to go about filling them. We'll be helping you with how to go about filling the forms, which exam forms we recommend other than the ones you already are applying for. So one-on-one, based on your performance in tests and other things, we will be giving you a lot of counseling for those recommendations. We'll also be helping you in selection of colleges, right? So other than regular teaching, we also do provide these extra services, and this is not in group. This will generally be one-on-one, that is with you and your parents, right? So based on your individual performances, we recommend what we are going to give you. Okay, so that pretty much ends what I had to say. I hope you had some benefit in understanding what you're getting into. If you have any questions, any doubts, any fears, any worries about an exam preparation or anything, please feel free to ask. You can type your question in the chat and I'll be responding to that. So if you have any questions, you can ask me on chat. In the meantime, if you don't have any doubts and you're done, then you may exit the session. Wish you all the best. I'll be sending the schedule by late in the evening for tomorrow. We'll be meeting tomorrow at class 8 in the morning. So if you don't have any doubts, you may exit. If you do have, type them out. Okay. So Dhruvati asks, any particular newspaper we suggest to read daily? Okay. We used to be big fans of the Hindu and Indian Express, and you can go and read the online version. You need not physically subscribe them. So the Hindu and Indian Express are generally what we used to recommend. But in the last entrance examination of CLAT, we actually saw editorial passages from even the Times of India being asked. So I would not discount even the Times of India, but rather than the news, even the editorial sections, right? Most important. So the Hindu, Indian Express, and even Times of India editorial section, these are good newspapers to read. But for language and content, Hindu and Indian Express. But because the entrance exam paper setters seem to be fond of Times of India, so at least the editorial section is worth reading. Okay, Dhruvati, I hope that answers your question. Okay, guys, any other question, any other doubt? Feel free to ask right now. For SATs, see, Mayuk, you should understand one thing, that SATs have a very particular structure, and the best part is that their structure is very constant. Even the type of questions that they ask is very constant. The emphasis is always on reasoning, that is reading comprehension and reasoning. So for a cracking examinations like the Scholastic Aptitude Test, the first and foremost skill that you need to understand is that you need to read a lot, you need to understand a lot. So reading is the number one skill which you will require to crack almost every section of the SATs. Okay, Shipra asks, how much time should we study for CLAT, because I'm average and not sure I'll be able to do CLAT or not. Okay, Shipra, first, and this is something I tell all the students, stop telling that I am average. If you think you are average, or if you think you are not average, both the times you are right. Whatever you think about yourself, believe me, it will happen in your life. If you keep telling yourself I'm average, you will end up being average. You keep telling yourself that with hard work I can do it, and believe me, you can do it. And it is not ज्ञान which I am giving. बाबा जी का ज्ञान नहीं दे रहा हूँ, कोई motivational speaker की तरह नहीं बोल रहा हूँ. Experience tells me this. Students who did not perform academically well at school but were hardworking enough could crack many entrance exams. If getting into a good college was all about doing well in school exams, तो वो सिर्फ टॉपर्स को एडमिशन दे देते ना, एंट्रेंस एग्जाम ही क्यों नहीं लेते? टाइम बचाओ, झंझट मत लो. So first, stop telling that I'm average. Second, there is no set amount of time that I can say you should be spending. बात ऐसी हो गई कि कितना खाना खाऊं. अब ऐसा तो नहीं है कि 3 रोटी में किसी का भी पेट भर जाएगा. हो सकता है आपका पेट 3 रोटी में भर जाए, मेरे को 10 रोटी की जरूरत पड़े, राइट? So it all depends upon how much content you're able to absorb. So how many hours should you spend? as many hours as you can give to this. 8 hours sleep, 8 hours school, 16 hours done. 24 में से 16 निकाल दिया, 8 घंटे बचे. इस 8 घंटे में से 2 घंटे फॉर अदर थिंग्स निकाल दो, नहाना धोना सबके लिए. 6 घंटे आपके पास हैं. If you are hardworking and dedicated enough, if you really want to get into a good college, I'm sure you will be willing to spend. How much time should you give? As much time as you can afford. It's as simple as that. And that's it. Okay. So I hope that answers your question, Shipra. Never ever how much time. My answer is जितना time मिले उतना time दो. जितना time मिले उतना time दो. जितना time दोगे उतना कम है. Right? Don't restrict yourself. Okay. Mayur, how are we going to apply for SATs? You'll have to go to the official SAT website and check. And as far as reading is concerned, if you don't have the habit of reading, start with simple fiction because that will keep your interest. But if you're already having the habit of reading things, then move ahead to non-fiction, right? You can read biographies, you can read historical events, political things and stuff like that. So if you don't have the habit of reading at all, start with fiction. But if you already have the habit of reading, then you can always graduate to non-fiction. So non-fiction is fair enough. Personally speaking, I read a lot of fiction. Even Harry Potter, my favorite. So anything is okay. But read. Develop the habit of reading. Yes, guys. Any other questions that you may like to ask? Any other thing that I can help you? I hope I've answered the questions asked so far. Okay, Jinisha wants to know, is mark sheet of 12th considered an admission in good college? Like I just said some time before, your board exams are as important as entrance exams. I'll tell you three reasons why. First, a lot of examinations, they consider 12th marks to be tiebreakers. If two students have exactly the same score in the entrance exams, then sometimes they may use your 12th standard marks to decide who gets the seat and who does not get the seat. First reason why it is important. Second reason, even after cracking an entrance exam, you get into a good college. After completing your basic bachelor's, some of you might decide to get into master studies. A lot of you will get into jobs. So when you're applying for jobs, you're applying for postgraduate studies, they look at your 12th. In fact, they also look at your 10th standard scores. So एंट्रेंस एग्जाम ऑफ ग्रेजुएशन में भी अगर 12th की जरूरत पड़े ना पड़े तो भी व्हेन यू आर गोइंग फॉर जॉब प्लेसमेंट्स, कंपनीज विल लुक एट योर 12th स्टैंडर्ड मार्क शीट्स. एंड मार्क्स अगर 12th में कम है, एंट्रेंस में भले ज्यादा मार्क्स हो लेकिन 12th में कम है, कंपनीज आर नॉट कंफर्टेबल विद दैट. कंपनीज 100% वांट स्टूडेंट्स हु आर एकेडमिकली कंसिस्टेंट. ऐसे नहीं कि लास्ट मोमेंट में पढ़ाई करके निकल गए, थ्रू आउट किसने पढ़ाई की है. एंड थर्ड एंड मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट रीजन, एंट्रेंस एग्जामिनेशंस आर नॉट अ गारंटी. Let me give you a few statistics. Let's take the example of CLAT, Common Law Admission Test for Law. There are roughly about 1,300 seats in general category. More than 65,000 students appear for this exam. Overall, including reservations, there are barely 3,000 seats. 65,000 students, right? 3,000 seats. So 65 में से 3,000 निकाल दो, 62,000 स्टूडेंट्स आर नॉट गोइंग टू गेट एडमिशन इन एन एनएलयू. 10,000 प्राइवेट कॉलेज के सीट्स को भी गिन लो, चलो कि कोई ना कोई दूसरे एंट्रेंस एग्जाम को क्रैक करके प्राइवेट इंस्टीट्यूशन में घुस गए, फिर भी 40,000+ कैंडिडेट्स हु विल हैव टू टेक एडमिशन एंड दैट 12th स्टैंडर्ड मार्क्स विल बी काउंटेड. भगवान ना करे एंट्रेंस एग्जाम के दिन अगर तबियत खराब हो गया एंड वी स्क्रू अप द एंट्रेंस एग्जाम, you will be depending on your 12th standard marks for admission into a college. So you can never afford to not perform well in 12th. 12th में भी अच्छे marks लाने ही पड़ेंगे. I hope that answers the question. Okay. Mayuk, yeah, that's I mean, I don't know whether Kafka on the Shore is actually by Franz Kafka. I think it would be some other author. But yeah, if you're reading something like that, then it's pretty interesting. I'll do that. Thanks for the recommendation. I'm always on the lookout for a good book, so I'll always check that out. Okay, guys. Any other questions you want to ask? If there are no more questions, you may exit the session. Right? Any more questions? I'll be hanging around for a few more minutes to answer them. Chalo. Okay. Murakami. Mayuk is recommending me a book by Murakami. This author, I've heard a lot about this author, and a lot of young readers these days seem to be fascinated by him. I think it's a phase, it's a Murakami phase, just like Khalil Gibran. There was a Khalil Gibran phase, then there was a Khalid Hosseini phase. Or sometimes authors, they suddenly gain popularity. So the past couple of years I've been seeing a lot of Murakami books. I guess it's time I read one of these books. Excellent. Okay, anything else? That's it, guys. Okay, so if there are no more questions, I'll be ending this session. In case you do have doubts, you can always ask me on the WhatsApp number or on Telegram. Just drop me a message. I'll get back to you. I'll be sending across the timetable in a few minutes from now. See you tomorrow morning at 8. Till then, wish you a good day. Stay home, stay safe.